Let's get real old school tonight. So I was sitting in my back room tonight, and I started digging out some mics, looking for a particular mic, and I came across some pretty cool names. And a lot of you old school guys will recognize these. So I figured we'll fire them up, see what they work. Maybe we'll actually hear something on them. Let's get with the first one. So this one right here goes to my Robin. This is actually one of my favorites. This one is an old Victor 4. It's actually probably the coolest old school radio I have. I found a mic to a high range, a Royce. There's an static for some reason. Is that a 5-pin? Nope, just a 4-pin. This is one of those Cobras that is supposed to have a booster. A Barjan for one of my Midlands. And here's the mic to the Victor. So let's just fire up this Victor and see what happens. I've got the power supply hooked up. It's plugged into the bathroom there. I've got me a little bit of brown liquor. Nothing special tonight because I'm not cooking. And let's get this hooked up. Now, fun fact, a lot of these old CB radios, especially these from the 70s, the 23 channels were 5-watt radios. That's before they lowered it down to 4 watts, and truthfully, all of these new Cobras are all 3-watt radios. If you get one that's more than that, chances are it's a 10-meter radio, and yeah, we know all about those. We won't indulge. What's this? Apparently I taped something up a while back. But yeah, they used to have to get a license to use these. And so this is a Taiwanese made Victor 4. I'm not sure what year it is, but something in me wants to say this is 1977, but I'll probably have to look that up to confirm that. But I know I got one in here that is from 1977. I know that Lafayette I have is older than that, so let's get this fired up. Well, out of curiosity, I just Googled it, and the closest thing I could find was 1977. Basically, they made one identical to this for Craco. So, it sounds to me like the same person that made Vector also made Craco. People make fun of Craco, but Craco is actually a pretty solid brand. It was Kmart's house brand, but it wasn't made by Kmart. They actually were made by pretty good people, so let's get this fired up and see what happens. I ran this stereo in my my Freightliner back when I first started driving. Okay, that's tuned up. Let's get this up. Oh, all right. So, does the mic still work? Well, if I remember right, I don't think that did work, in fact. But where do you find another one? Let's turn the squelches all the way down. Oh yeah, there we go. It's on CB now. So yeah, we got 23 channels of Fury, 5 watts, and this is how we changed. So 9 was always red. Picked up something there, but yeah, so awesome. It still works. Oh, yeah, I didn't hook the antenna up. Okay, actually, with the squelch all the way down, the volume up. I can actually hear people out there, so. All right. Yeah, this radio is good. I actually had a guy try to bag this off me pretty hard one night, but I really do like this radio. Let's go off to the next one. I got some cool stuff we can play with. Now, I'd love to get this one fired up, but I don't have the parts for it, and this came out of Missouri. This was a base station. So let me show you the Lafayette. So, this, I'll have to cover up that guy's name. That was his number. He had a base station out of Missouri, and he's got this hooked up back here. Like I said, I don't even have the, yeah. He really, back in the day, this was a real expensive setup. He, you know, yeah. I'm not sure what year this is, but this is all Japanese made, according to this. So, basically, he had the power converter and the booster on the bottom, and then he had the, this on top with this mic. The mic doesn't work. The batteries were left in it before I got it, and they're all pretty well corroded out. I suppose I could probably rebuild it, but I don't even know where I'd start. But it's a Lafayette 625, so if any of y'all are familiar with Lafayettes, this is another 23 channel. So let's go pull out my Robin. Now I got the Robin out and it works. I just realized that there's one problem. This little guy takes a different plug that I do not have. I think I made one to make it work, and then I cut one down. And so I'll have to look for that. But this is another neat little 23 channel. Yeah, that's made in Japan. But little 23 channel. Works real good. The speaker went out in it. That's why I had my original that's why I had my original external speaker for it. But here's the mic to it. And yeah, it's a fun little radio. I'll have to build me a plug for it and one of these days here soon and get it going again. I know I have one somewhere, but it's buried. And this mess is just waiting to collapse and cave in on me, and then that's the last you ever hear of me. So what else I got? Oh, maybe we'll see if we can get that high gain to go. Now, I was going to try to get this Midland to go, but it said 5 watt, 23 channel, synthesized solid state. But I don't even have one of those mics. I don't even know where to find one. The back's a little tore up too. It's nothing I couldn't fix, but that's where you ground it. There's your power. You adjust your antenna there. It's got some numbers etched into it. I think that this right here was also a base station. Well, probably it was in somebody's. Back then, you had to get licenses for these, and these were your call sign numbers. I know when CB started getting all the rage back in the 70s, they were treated more like ham radios than just citizens band. So everybody had call signs and numbers and stuff like that. I bought a lot of these at garage sales. I tried to use a lot of them. I found a lot of them. A lot of these 25s I pulled out of trash cans. So lots of pawn shops and whatnot. But I really wish I could get this Midland going. Like I said, I just don't have I don't have the parts. Onto the high range. Let's find the mic. So what I have here is an old high range that apparently was made in Puerto Rico. We check the fuse real quick, make sure it's good. Somebody wrapped it in aluminum foil. So let me go find a fuse. I got a whole bunch of these still. Now, part of the problem you're going to have with antique CB radios are the mics. You can find the radios okay, but where are you going to find a mic that has that kind of plug? You can probably order them and all that. Focus, there we are. But finding one is really difficult. Nothing was really standardized back in the day, and I'll turn it on and hear goodbye, Mr. Bond. So nothing was really standardized, so everybody had their own thing going. So let's turn this on and see what happens. Engage. All right. Oh, it does work. See if that still works. I'll be dog, and the speaker still works too. So I hooked the external up. Can't really see that. It had a PA setting. This was pretty common back in the day. But yeah. Well, that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. I got one more we're going to try before we get to the big boy. And I'm really pleased about that one. I like firing up these old things. So we're going to try one of my favorite ones. And this one you're going to like. Okay, so I made a plug for the Royce. I'll show you. So you're probably wondering why I didn't make a plug for the Robin like this. This is just barely held in. It's kind of pressure treated right now. So why didn't I do one like this for the Robin? For the Robin, I have to take the radio apart to figure out which is positive and negative. This one was marked. So I didn't really want to start taking things apart, but good luck on this. Let's fire this thing up and see what it does. Alright, so engage. Turn that on. Is it on? Alright, let's jiggle this. Oh, there we are. Transmit power. We're on 19. Something's wrong with the mic. Yep. My key up the mic. I got an actual Royce mic. So this radio is definitely a little boogered, but yeah, let's just. It's not happy. Let's turn that down. Yeah, this is definitely needing a lot of love. Truth be told, my first CB ever when I was a kid, I bought it at a garage sale for a couple bucks. It was a 13-channel Royce. And boy, I thought that was just the neatest thing. I hooked it up to the TV antenna. And I could get out quite a ways. But it was only 13 channels. Boy, when I got my 23 channel, that was great. The one channel, though, I wish I'd got, or the one CB I wish I'd gotten, was my grandfather's. My grandfather was a deputy sheriff in Sumner County, Kansas back in the early 60s. And he had a 3-channel Motorola. It was huge. I mean, it was every bit of 4 or 5 inches tall, 18 inches long, and it mounted to the floor. You couldn't mount it to the dash. You'd pull your dash down. And, well, the thing was a beast. 3 channels. Had crystals. And, yeah, I kind of wish I'd had that still. I didn't ever get it when my grandfather died. The radio disappeared, and I should have just taken it, but I didn't. It was strange times, but Royce works. On the back here, this thing was manufactured in March of 1977. So that's pretty cool. So got the old serial numbers on it and all that. Neat old radio. One of the things I really like about it are the round gauges here. They, Stryker made radios that kind of mimic this, but Royce was the original. So let's put this up, and I'm going to pull out my big skip radio, and we'll have some fun with that. Now, probably the radio I have a soft spot for, and I always have been old school 148 GTLs. I've gotten them all over the country. I have had them looked at. I've had probably half a dozen of them back in the day. All the good guys that knew how to build them, they're all gone now. If you want to have an old school CB, you had to find an old school CB repairman. Now, I know what some of you guys are saying, they still make the GTL. No, they brought them back out. This is an old school, let's see, made in the Philippines, February of 91. I have one that's made in Malaysia, too. From what I remember, those are actually bootleg Cobras, but it worked really good. February of 91, made by a project of the Dynastan Corporation. So, yep. That knob back there is a variable power knob, and we got it set where it kind of just needs to be. It's got a frequency counter on it. And that right there really helps because the clarifier's opened up. And so we're going to fire this thing up, and we're going to have some fun with it. All right, so let's turn that thing on. We're going to flip this switch. That turns that on. Let's turn the radio on. All right, I forgot to hook the speaker up, didn't I? Yes, I did. It's got a speaker on it, but, yep, okay. Now it's all hooked up. So let me show you something real cool. That right there. Whoops. That is way up there. The clarifier's opened up. Let me move these back. There we are. Back on 19. 27185. Now let me show you something cool about the clarifier. We're keyed up. I can actually move between the channels. So I can split every channel quite significantly, really. Now these right here, the bands have all been opened up. When I tell you that this is a big radio, that's not a joke. This is a very big radio. I push out a lot of power out of this. I haven't had it tested in a while. I think just regular pushed out, I think we're pushing 6 to 10 watts. Now hear me out. That doesn't sound like a lot, but it's a lot more than you think. this thing's been peaked up like a 10-meter radio. Now, the secret isn't so much the radio, it's your antenna setup. I know guys with 3-watt radios that'll outperform any big radio because the guy wants to use stock coax. But this right here, I hit skip from Florida to LA and every point in between. I know on my Galaxy on good clear day, I get Canada. That's weird. This radio is an east and west radio. That Galaxy is a north and south radio. They're just weird. Radios have personalities, and this one is no different. But there's certain parts of the country, like if I get on out in I-80 where nobody is, I'll start hitting skip like crazy. So this one's a lot of fun. So, if you really want to get on a, a sideband or all that, you can really, now, sometimes if you want to figure out what's going on in the sideband, what channel you're on, if you're not sure, sometimes you have to put a constant sound into it. Hey, it's not going. Wait a minute. Oh. Okay. We'll try that again. Hey. I can't get it to go. Let me play with it for a minute. I had it going earlier. So believe it or not, it was a bad mic. I put on a Truck Stuff Superstar because they're the only 5 pins I could find. And it works. So you just kind of whistle into it. It's on lower sideband right now. Watch this. So if you hold a constant tune like that, you can actually figure out where you need to be. So just a little trick I learned years ago. This back on AM. Let's see where we're at. Still on channel 19. I know this is out, but just one of those things. But yeah, I know this is out too. I was going to show you oh, I'll be dog. It actually works now. Well, today is a good day. So if you want to calibrate it, you just do that and you use the SWR calibrate, which is the outside here. Yep. So we got that all the way down. And let's see. Yep, we're good. So let's move it back to RF. We should be getting something out there. We gotta turn the gain up. Not too many people are on CB anymore. That's a big radio. Now, I got another big radio over here we're not going to plug in. It's got a little problem with it. I can't find somebody to fix it. It is, where is it? That 148 GTL right there. With the right antenna setup, that radio barefoot will talk about 35 miles. It's a big radio. I had the old school guy in Oklahoma City build it for me years ago. I got it. I had it. It worked pretty good. I had it peaked and tuned by that guy. And the dude was phenomenal. His kid wasn't worth a crap. But that dude was just incredible. And those old school guys that used to be down there in the city, they're gone now. I haven't been out to Four Corners in Nevada forever, but I don't even know if they're still there. Used to go to that Viking CB shop in Fontana at Trucktown, and Trucktown is gone. I don't go to Walcott, and since they're still in business, I'm not going to tell you why. Let's just say I have dealt with their things before. And there used to be a CB shop out in Gary that was just, it was just terrible. I mean, if you took your CB there, you might as well just use it as I was in Lake, was it Gary or Lake Station? It was out there somewhere, and truthfully, if you got your radio there, you just use it as a chalk block once you got it back. The problem I have with a lot of CB places now is that when you go to them, they're more interested in just selling you something than actually fixing stuff. Getting stuff fixed is getting very, very hard. And truthfully, that's why I don't put a lot of these things in. They still work. They still work well. And I don't want them getting tore up because I don't have any real opportunity to get them fixed. I just don't. Some of these CB shops I don't like, I will swing in there to buy things I need if I don't have to get anything worked on. Like 10-meter radios, they peaked and tuned a 10-meter radio. If you convert a 10-meter radio to CB, if you do nothing else but convert it and close the lid, you will have the most incredible radio in the world. You don't need to peak and tune a 10-meter radio. They're already pushing out more power than you'll ever need. It's just like those antennas. They go up to 2,000 watts. You will never put 2,000 watts out of your truck. You got a 12-volt system. You know, unless you sit there and hook 3,000 linears up and have its own dedicated alternator and a bank of batteries, you're never putting out that kind of wattage. You know, most guys in their lives, they'll never put out more than 10 to 12. In fact, any more these days, most guys are never going to put out more than 3 if they have one at all. But CB radios are fun, and I really do enjoy them. And I thought it'd be fun to just pull some old school radios out tonight and fire them up and see if they still worked. And that high gain was neat. I really do like that. And I really wish I'd had a mic for the Midland, but I just don't. But yeah. Sadly, radios are starting to be a bygone thing. Cell phones, GPS, all of those things, they've kind of replaced the CB. But the CB is still valid in a lot of ways. It's important. You know, you can find out where the cops are. You can find out where your friends are. If you got a friend running with you, talk on the CB. I mean, you know, leave your cell phone open for other things. But got to get some coffee. It's getting late. But antique CB radios, if you're in this business anytime, there's something about the business that a lot of the old timers, they'll all sit there and collect certain aspects of it. Some guys collect old wheels, truck emblems, stuff like that. A lot of guys collect CB radios. You know, just something from bygone days. You know, there used to be a lot of good CB shops out there across the country, but sadly most of them are gone, like I said. But that being said, CBs are fun and they're important, but you know, sometimes in this business you just want to have a hobby. And this is a hobby you can do on the road. Coffee. And so, I mean, don't be ashamed of it. Get yourself a CB. Build yourself a good antenna setup. Get out there and play with it. They're fun. And there's a lot to them. And truthfully, if you like amateur radios and stuff like that, you can tune them yourself if you know what you're doing. I, however, do not. But there's a lot of resources out there. These are simple analog AM radios. There's nothing digital about them. So if you're interested in them, go ahead and learn, man. They're a lot of fun. And antique radios are just kind of neat. They're still out there. They're still cheap. And truthfully, if you want to go play with them, go play with them. I just thought it'd be fun to show you guys some of my radio collection, and just had to spend a boring Wednesday night taking some time off work, getting some rest. So I appreciate it. Thanks for watching, guys. Keep your chins up out there, guys. And this job doesn't have to be dull. It doesn't have to all be about work. I mean, CB radios are part of the job, but I'll tell you what, it's a fun part of the job. And that's part of making it fun. It's part of enjoying what you're doing, so enjoy what you're doing. I appreciate it. Thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next video.